Good evening, race fans, and welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Casual Sim Racers League as we are here at the Nurburgring Combined circuit. And the drivers, a couple of them still finishing up qualifying. Looks like actually just one of them finishing up qualifying, and that is Craig Jancic trying to put a lap in as a timer has expired for qualifying. An hour and a half to get in here. Jancic yet to put in a lap. Looks like he's just finally going to go across the line right now. And got to put him P1 as well. So last, save the best for last, I guess. But he crossed the line, so that is going to put a wrap on qualifying. We'll get the starting order up here in a second once qualifying finally finishes out. But this is going to be a 6-lap shootout. It's still going to be 45 minutes, but that's about all the laps that they're going to get in because this track is a monster. Carl Hamler joined the booth by Jimmy Cover. Jimmy, you better have some practice laps in here because it's not just, 6 or 7 corners here tonight.
No, obviously this isn't quite like the special event. Obviously the beginning of the track's a little bit different. Tighter turn and a little bit more tricky. But then once you get up into the mountain part, then it is the same. So a lot of drivers have probably plenty of experience up in there, especially if they're an endurance fan like myself and Carl, and they will find themselves reminiscent maybe of what was or shouldn't have been, or some crazy experience here at the Nurburgring. But Nürburgring's always a tricky track. It's lots of fun, about 170 different turns to kind of remember. And there's parts where really the car, you gotta, so you don't get them off tracks or slow downs, but there is parts of the track you can really kind of cut corners and really open up the track because it is a tight fit. I don't think within them 6 laps the GT3s will be passed because it does take about almost 8 minutes for the LMP2s and over 8 minutes for the GT3s.
Hey boys, you guys ready if I advance the session into the race?
We are, yep. We're waiting on Craig, kind of just waiting everything up right now. But yeah, we are good to go. As that
Okay,
is
good.
Jim Dutton. So it sounds like we're ready to get this thing to the grid.
Okay, enjoy guys, and we'll talk to you later.
All right, sounds good, buddy.
Later, Gator.
That is Jim Dutton, the man behind the curtains here at CSRL. I haven't really got a chance to talk to him lately. I feel like with the competition, the way it is right now, and him being up there in the LMP2 Pro class, it's been a tough go for anyone not named Keeling. Really, that's about it. I mean, we can't even really throw Jancic or Devin Young and some of the other ones in here that started off the season on a pretty good streak because it's been kind of all day scaling lately, but doesn't have the pole here tonight. So we'll see how it goes into turn 1. But sounds like we are going to get this session underway, and you see all the sights and sounds here from the Nurburgring Combined circuit, a massive track here because we raced here at the Nürburgring GP circuit before, and it's kind of a purpose-built. Purpose-built road course, but here at the Combined circuit, where you're going through the Nordschleife, it is basically a 10th GP circuit and 9/10 country roads, kind of. I mean, it is very, very interesting if you've never seen a race here or been in a race here for iRacing. But we are ready to go here. Qualifying is done, so we'll go ahead and bring up the starting grid for tonight and show you everyone that's in the field here tonight. Smallest field of the season, but still 37 cars out there. So great showing here once again. But Jimmy, there's certainly some trouble spots here at Nürburgring. There's probably 3 or 4 that I can think of just off the top of my head. But is there anywhere in particular that you're always kind of paying extra close attention to?
Turn 1. I've always had
joking,
problems
but no,
turn
seriously,
1.
yeah.
No, seriously, turn 1.
Yeah.
No, it's just and not necessarily the initial turn 1. I mean, initial turn 1 is survival, right? So you got everybody's packed up still, and they're you slow down to almost a stop. And here for the first part, since it's the combined track, it's a 180 turn, and then down into some more corners that aren't very quick, and you really gotta roll the car through there. Cold tires, we're looking at maybe people locking up, spinning. I mean, there's all kinds of things that can happen here in turn 1. It's going to be a very interesting situation here for the drivers. We do know the GT3s do start back just a little bit farther. they'll probably start on the back stretch, so they don't have to do a full lap here. I think a pace lap would probably be, yeah, about 30 minutes or so. So, yeah, we're not. I'm
Be
pretty
half
sure
the
they're
session.
not going to do that here. Be half the session on a pace lap, and I'm sure the drivers want to get out there and race. And like I said, there's a lot of opportunities to kind of make passes and choices. You know, and if you're not a driver that practices off the racing line, you could find yourself in a little bit of trouble, or at least be extremely uncomfortable getting past or trying to pass somebody. It's one of those tracks that you need to spend a lot of time on to know it. What I mean by that is, like, what's my car gonna feel like if I am on the outside? And then there's like the one corner, I have to forget the name of them. There's so many, but it's, you know, really tight carousel. You go down on a dip, you know. But what is it like if you're not inside that trough that helps the car rotate? You know, have you ever been up there? I know I
carousel,
have,
yeah.
because I definitely practice it a lot. And sometimes the car will get in there in the carousel and she'll venture out, or somebody dives down to the inside to try to make a pass and takes away that opportunity. You can survive on the outside. Is it fast? No, but you can survive. But you need to know how to take that corner up there. And it's, you know, not necessarily where you'll be, but knowing it could prevent you from hitting the wall or ending your race here. But it's going to be interesting. You know, 45 minutes here at Nurburgring. You know, we talked about, yeah, only 6 laps, but it's still a ton of turns. I know drivers, when this thing comes up on iRacing as officials, they like to get out here and recover most of their safety rating because there's so many turns.
Pole sitters for tonight are going to be Craig Jancic and Paul Smith for the LMP2s, and the GT3s, it's Noah Bourgeois and Cesar Colon Torres. As the LMP2s coming through the final sector, looks like the backstretch still empties. Noah Bourgeois has not led them off the backstretch yet. Maybe they're starting at the same time, just Bourgeois starting here on the backstretch. But either way, Jancic is your pole sitter, and we are green heading into turn 1. For the first time, looks like it's already kind of spread out here kind of nicely. As
little lock up.
Said turn 1, but that's actually
wide.
turn 1 of the Nordschleife. So we'll get back to the actual running here. And this layout, at least, Jimmy, just has the right-hand turn for turn 1. I know that the turn 1 that you're thinking of for the 24-hour course doesn't go through that little kind of outer loop right there. It's a quick right and then a hard hairpin left. Here, at least, it's just the right-hand turn and then sending you around through the through the long sweeping left-hand bend. But Craig Jancic is your leader. You see Dace Keeling already right there behind him. We'll switch it over now to the GT3s, who are still warming up down at the backstretch here. And they're going to be getting ready to go here in just a moment. But for the time being, Craig Jancic leads the way in the LMP2s. Paul Smith back here in 6th place overall, but he leads for the LMP2 AMs, as we'll get everything up here on the scoreboard here for you. Show you the tower and everybody that's rolling through here. As good start here for the majority of it. I didn't see really any incidents. Some drivers slowing up. We just kind of locking up for turn number 1, but we'll take a look and you see still waiting for the GT3s. So I don't know, Jimmy. At this rate, maybe there's a chance that the LMP2s will catch up to the GT3s before the start of this thing.
Yeah, they definitely gave themselves enough space, maybe a little too much. Typically, during officials, the leaders of, it's what the league decides, obviously, but for officials, and we see somebody going off there as you switch to some major damage for Dace Keeling.
That is going to be race ending as he tows back to pit lane, and the tow here is quite a long one. We'll see what exactly happened here, and well, that's Paul Smith, so that didn't really help me out there. So let's try this one more time. Oh, here we go. This is what I was looking for here, as Keeling
went for a pass.
Yeah, went for a pass, got off, and heavy damage there to the 6, and tows it back into pit lane. So that's going to move Siviani Madrigal now into 2nd place. As we got to spin towards the back of the LMP2s as well. Trying to catch what happened there. I think it was this is the start of the GT3s.
Oh,
as we had a couple of drivers just spinning sideways, some cold tires. See right there, Jason Smith going sideways. A couple of drivers taking some evasive action, and a great job weaving back and forth to get around him.
oh, and they had a spin right after that too.
Yeah, right there, James Smith, and some damaged cars on this one for sure. Looks like Ian Southern involved in this one. So we'll get you back live. It is No Bourgeois leading them through the GP circuit and using up all that runoff there as well. Looks like Richard Hearn with a meatball as well. So the GT3 is getting off a little bit rougher, even though they're slower. Those cold tires really mean a lot here in the first half a GP circuit, I would say. By the time they get to the Nordschleife, they're getting warmed up, maybe not fully warmed up just yet on that first lap, but right now there's quite a few that got tangled up in the beginning of this thing. Looks like William Harvin is the next one. That's not sure if he blinked out or what happened. This is Avery Pedley getting a little help there from Renan Dilemma. Doesn't look like any kind of damage, as he'll get the 030 back on track.
And yeah, comfortability being on heavy radar here. It's definitely on the drivers. They're trying to make moves, cold tires, and like I said earlier, if you're not comfortable running off the racing line, you can find yourself off the track. It's either lifting or some light trail braking or a quick downshift, whatever it may take. But getting used to running off the racing line here is not easy. Too much curb is obviously, you can see, is right there with Bryce Reiner catching a little bit, the wiggle and the catch that he had to make to keep his car going in the right direction. It's a lot of challenging corners, very technical, and it's not. I'm not surprised that the likes of Noah Bourgeois out front just kind of taking off a driver that's very good at a technical track and this track has plenty of technical corners, but seen a little too wide action here with Ricky Renner coming down into the beginning parts of the mountain, just going down before they get up to the sharp S's. But this is a very fast part of the track as well, so down this hill and up around the corner, and then I'll have to slow back down again. But very unique and challenging area that sometimes you can get a good run and get a pass here. I've had a few, but yeah, this part here where the Ricky Renner is coming through, just obviously very you got to be patient with this corner. We got to let the corner speak to you, I guess, in order to get around there with decent speed. Because sometimes you'll like, oh, I nailed it, and then next time you come around and you just found yourself like 3 or 4 tenths, and you're like, oh, well, that felt worse, but why did it work so much better? And it could have been just your entry for that corner into the other one, where you find yourself carrying more speed and actually be able to be quicker through there. It's really kind of an interesting track, because you can get out there and you'd be like, all right, everybody's doing, we'll just say 8 minutes just for the sake of even numbers, but say everybody's doing 8 minutes, but you find yourself and you're doing like 8:10. Great catch there, right in front of Bryce Reiner.
that was beyond a brown pants moment. Man, that was.
Yeah.
It didn't catch it because he didn't even have an off track on that one. But we're gonna have to rewind that and just show everyone that one here one more time. The 15 of Devin Young. That was as sketchy as you can get right here on the throttle a little bit too early, up on the curb. Just nice easy save. Didn't even lose a spot. It just kept it going right here. But man, that scared me just watching it.
I can only imagine the wheel work that had to go into keeping that thing alive. The LMP2 is one of the cars I've never ran here. Obviously, plenty of time in the GT3. I have not even ran the LMP2 around here just for fun. I know some drivers, like the likes of one of our co-commentators, John Nobinger. He loves to do weird combos. And I'm
he's
sure
probably ran the sprint car here. You name it.
He loves Nurburgring and can be extremely fast for sure. Depending on the day. but he gets I think a bad habit of chasing the Delta bar. But you can see how strong the draft is here with these cars. So the 30 really sucking up to the back of the 19, trying to get a run, and now it's trying to get that slingshot action. But the 21 is going to come in right behind. I think that's who was that? Was that Dilemma? Apparel? I'm one of the teal car. Anyways, you could just barely getting enough to kind of get around there. And yeah, the 119. 119 is Reagan. Sorry, excuse me. But you know, just to get that run, and then hopefully you got enough oomph to get around. But you can see Reagan getting a better exit out of the final turn, and now it's going to be a drag race out on turn 1, which is a very again, this is the part that scares me. All that speed, and then try to nail this super tight turn here. Typically, after the 24-hour, you got to make a left right here, but they get a nice big sweeping left-hand turn instead of a sharp one. But it still could be tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was gonna just mention the same thing before you mentioned, as it looks like Hamilton had a bit of an issue here as well. Yeah, I've had plenty of laps here in the GT3s, and I think if you run, if it was GT4s or TCs or something like that, as right here you see Hamilton's incident in the Blue Thunder as he gets it back going, and it actually doesn't look like much, if any, damage. But yeah, same thing. I have not had the pleasure of getting out here, or displeasure, I don't know, with the LMP2s here on the track, or GTPs or anything like that. And yeah, I know our fellow commentator, I'm pretty sure he's had the F1 cars here. He's had probably the Pro 2 or Pro 4 trucks out here as well. I can't imagine how long of a time that would be, and I can imagine how long that backstretch would be with the off-road trucks headed down the backstretch, because they kind of top out pretty early. They're not geared for going 150, 160 miles an hour down the backstretch. But either way, he's been out here with quite a bunch, but I'm not sure what his times were in LMP2s. Right now, we are looking to complete the first official lap here for the GT3s. Nurburgring leads him down the backstretch. He's got about a 2.6 second lead over Ryan Merriam as they made it through the Nordschleife for the first time, just going through the final S's. And one thing, Jimmy, I mean, you look at the track map, and I promise you, ladies and gentlemen out there in the CRN Nation, you're not looking at a what is it, a Rorschach test or something like that, where when you go to a psychologist to make sure you're not crazy, and they just have an ink blot test, maybe that's what it's called. But that is the track. That is what it actually looks like. It is crazy looking, but it's one where if you know it and you've been around it enough, as crazy as it sounds, 150, 170 corners, you get some muscle memory, and you get to the point where you understand how you need to drive the track. And it's easy to do it on a track that has 15, 20 turns, but a track like this where it's got 16 miles worth of turns, the fact that you can kind of like have it down pat is kind of crazy.
Yeah, and like you're just talking about gaining or losing like tenths, and you see people racking out some blistering times, and kind of like Craig Jancic, had a 7:53 there for his first lap, and the next person's like 8:03, and you're like, well, where's them 10 seconds? Where did I? That seems like a long time off for any race, but you just ran 16 miles. It wasn't like a 2-mile track, to gain 2-mile track, and you gained 10 seconds, but. For that lap, it's a 16-mile track. There's a lot of nuances and little dips and dives, and you can see some of the drivers really trying to find or use the curbs, and looking for areas to pass and get around and put the pressure on the driver in front of you. The track isn't super wide, so to force somebody into an pressure, and maybe mess up is not out of the realm for sure. But right now here with Avery Pedley, currently in P11, he's got himself a full mirror of the 119 of Christopher Reagan. So doing a pretty good job here throughout the field. Looking kind of through the field, it does look like Anthony Hutchison is a real, I think that's the battle. No. The battle's between Anthony Hutchison and Savani Madrigal for P number 2, as there's only less than a second. And then you have Bryce Reiner on the tail of or being closed in by Devin Young. So a lot of good racing going on, and then you got a pretty big old battle back with the GT3s as well. Ian Southern, Jay Little, Roll Cole, and James Smith all kind of grouped up here, and you know, some 2x action here coming out of some of the corners. So a lot of a little more battling here with the GT3s, but it does look like Michael Brolowski has decided to venture off the track.
Yeah, try and take a look back here at the incident for Brolowski in the 369. And I believe this is I always get it wrong if it's hit, miss, hit, or miss, hit, miss. But either way, he missed the exit of it and hits the tire barrier nasty. Big time. And that's why he got a meatball and ended up towing it back to pit lane.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, you mentioned about, you know, how do you lose 10 seconds worth of time on a track? Your normal track, you figure is, you know, say it's 15 turns. You know, if you're losing a tenth of a second each turn, you could lose up to a second and a half a lap. Here, if you're losing a tenth of a second per turn and it's 160 turns, go figure. I mean, that's how you lose your 10 seconds right there. You multiply that tenth of a second by 160, it adds up pretty dang quickly. So it's no surprise that Jansen got to a 13-second lead already. But Anthony Hutchinson is still in a battle with Siviani Madrigal for second place overall, as these two have been nose to tail for quite some time. And as Jimmy mentioned, as big as this track is, still some battles mixed in amongst the field here. You got Avery Pedley and Christopher Reagan duking it out here for 10th and 11th. Pedley in the AM class, Reagan in the Pro class. And then looking down in the GT3s, you got Alex Zart trying to keep with a lane below here. And not too far behind them, you got Javi Sierra and Cesar Colon Torres and battle themselves. Even towards the back, you have this battle right here between Jay Little, Raul Colon, and James Smith. So some good driving out here, as we've been out here for 15 minutes, Jimmy. We're on lap number 2.
It seems crazy to say that, you know, and no, they haven't, or they weren't under caution. It's just amazing. You can see here, you know, we're looking at 6 laps, you know, so, you know, if you don't like turn 1, I guess the good thing is you only have to visit it 6 times. But that's kind of how I looked at it. I'm like, all right, I just need to hold my breath and hope for the best through turn 1 6 times until it's my time to get out of the car. And I try to do my best, and it's probably where I lose a lot of my time, you know, making sure that I hit some of those more difficult corners. And the thing is, like, you know, obviously coming down towards the end where you're like super confident is where I actually had my incident in our 24-hour race car. I hit a curb, the car went, the weight shifted oddly, sent the car around, and you know, picked up some major damage. And that was only a small portion of the issues that we had at our time here for the 24-hour. Not a good year for CRN as far as the Nurburgring this season. So I guess there's always next year. So we'll see. Maybe it gets a little more extra time in that car and prepare for that one. But next on the docket here for the CRN crews, we're going to be over there more than likely for the Majors 24. So outside setup shop puts on a huge 24-hour event where the top and second split are actually stewarded, so they actually have race control, they have cautions, all kinds of fun stuff for them. They have a system of you know, if somebody's driving unprofessionally, or, you know, as far as, you know, a race would go, you can submit a ticket and they'll read it and they'll get over to your session, check out, we'll see what happened on that lap, and then either DQ them, put them, you know, penalize them or whatnot. So it's a pretty good system overall. It's a pretty good time. We've had some okay finishes, but again, another track that's not been nice to us, and we keep torturing ourselves just a little bit because we enjoy the endurance racing. But it's a good time to hang out with your buddies, just like all the drivers here at CSRL. You know, they enjoy coming back each and every week. And racing like this here, like you're watching on the screen, with Raul and gang in tow here. You know, just kind of getting around the Nurburgring, getting them off tracks, and you know, see those clips of, you know, when Max Verstappen was here not too long ago, you know, passing somebody and doing the little Max Verstappen jingle that is going around the internet. But here tonight, maybe Craig Jancic out front, maybe he's bebopping to some good tunes, as he's got a huge read.
Yeah.
But that was a good save there by Jay Little as he went off track, you know, and I don't see his wheel all cockeyed on my screen, so
No, he kept it off
hopefully
the wall.
no steering damage. That's hard. Well,
Well,
maybe I should
he
have said
did
something.
before,
No!
not so much here. As you get a ride along here of what a wreck, a meatball, and a toe look like at Nurburgring, as that could be the end of the night there for Jay Little. Looks like only 2 drivers right now out. That's Michael Borlaski and Jay Little, the one that just towed back to pit lane. Not sure if his day is going to be over or not, but now you're looking at John Espada trying to maybe weave back and forth here a little bit, trying to break the draft going down the backstretch. But you see the Ferrari and then the Mercedes getting bigger and bigger, as the draft definitely plays a big part here down the backstretch, and you see him back and forth trying to break up that draft heading into the S's. And that's one thing that you have here, Jimmy, at Nürburgring. There's, I think, 3 sections of track that are flat out S-turns. Here, this is probably the most difficult one, because you're having to brake right there at the end, and you see up close and personal there with Raul Cullen and the Ferrari out of the corner, and it's a great pass down the front stretch. But some of the you know, the S-turns that you're flat out here can get fun.
Yeah, they can get fun, and you know, battle. See a little bit of damage on the number 9 there, obviously with a little bit of wing damage. So it's been a while since I've seen a wing twerk like that there, and still able to kind of hang in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very rare. I used to see him quite often, and I guess they brought it back. But there's some damage there on the Ferrari's wing, but he's able to kind of keep running here with the likes of the other drivers. But up front, Craig Jancic leading the way. He's got a nice 15-second comfy lead. You know, now is like, you know, he's at a point where he can kind of take his time. He doesn't. I mean, you still need to drive this track. When I mean take your time, I mean not like coasting through corners stuff. This track and the car love to be driven. Like that, you need to drive this car. You have to trust it and trust the downforce, and sometimes you need to be on the throttle in order for it to do what it needs to do. But Savani here on the tail end of Bryce Reiner, you know, as they work their way through the mountain here, another fast section here, and this is a slowdown area here where they got to make a left-hand turn, or at least in the GT3s. It does look like Savani was staying in there in 6th gear as they work their way, coming up to the carousel here, the last and final turns, kind of get them to slow down some of their speed, but going all the way down the 1st gear. So the LMP2 doesn't have a lot of low-end RPM kind of get up and boogie, so I find yourself kind of going down maybe farther than you would like to as far as gears go. But you can see him coming up through the gears here on the screen as you see the gears switching. But yeah, it's a great track, you know, and the drivers are continuing to some drivers are having a great run at it, and maybe the little bit of practice they need, or maybe a continued run from their 24-hour event.
And probably the most scary section of the track is what's coming up. We'll stay on board here with Savani Madrigal, because in the GT3s you catch a little air coming off of the off a little dip, and then immediately at right-hand corner, as you see some GT3s coming into play now, and come into play here for Madrigal to try and catch up to Reiner, but not going to be the case just yet. And this is the section that I was mentioning. You got a bit of an S-turn, and I'm assuming the GT3s, you know, catch a little bit of air. I would think the LMP2s a little bit faster may catch it right here. This drop right here, and you hear the car bottoming out. It is catching air ever so slightly. I think GT3s actually catch a little bit more air, but then after that, you're flat out through this entire section. You see how rough it is. You see how much he's working that wheel, or maybe how much the track is working the wheel for him. And a great run through the S's there, but just too tight to make a pass. And head into the little, what I call the mini carousel right here. A corner that you're down in there so quickly and then hop up and out, and like even the wipers going off because it doesn't know what's going on here. But another fast section of the track right here. You're trying to keep flat out as much as possible because it sets you up for this long backstretch. And this is where you'll see if Madrigal can try and get a run here on Reiner.
Yeah, this is where the draft kind of comes into play, and I think they're running a little higher wing here, so they're really got to use you know, every piece of momentum coming off the corner. And you can see the 08 not able to quite grab, you know, enough draft to kind of put him in a spot to like slingshot him around. It's going to tow him down here, and maybe he's just saving a little bit of fuel. Maybe he wants to try to drag it out one more lap. I don't know what their fuel situation is here. Obviously, we're coming up to the halfway mark here and about to cross. So can they get 3 laps? Is it 3 laps or 4 laps? I mean, if they can get 4 laps in, then yeah, 1 stop here. Because I was kind of wondering, you know, when they're going to come in. But you see drivers coming in here on just lap 4. And that's the start of lap 4. So hopefully they have enough to make it to the end. They should, as they cross the line here at 24 minutes. So, you know, this race here, you know, if they cross the line and at 42, it could be the white flag, but the longest white flag in iRacing.
Yeah, it looks like everyone coming in here in the LMP2s. I don't think anybody's going to stretch it out here to 5 laps. As Pedley a little bit slow in here, so Reagan gets right to the back bumper and even thought about making a pass. And he does make a pass here coming into the pits. So I'm not sure what was going on there, but now a dilemma coming into the pits. Jancic down and out already as he tries to stretch out this lead. He's got a pretty massive lead right now. Reiner looks like he's able to get out in front of Hutchinson, as Hutchinson's going to fall down the field here a little bit. Now finally coming out, but he goes from 2nd to 4th on the pit stop. He's seen the other two of Reiner and Madrigal catch up to him and make it close coming into the pits. And they were able to both make it past him. And it's all kind of spread out now. As close as it was, now you got 17 seconds between Jancic and Reiner. You got 4.5 seconds from Reiner to Madrigal. Another 4.5 seconds back to Hutchinson. So the pit stop's really shaking things up here at the front. Now the closest battle coming out. You got Pineda trying to get up there to Paul Smith. Paul Smith is your LMP2 AM class leader in at the number 8. Down in the GT3s, see Nurburgring going around here for another lap. As should be seeing them probably coming in this time by. He's got a 6-second lead now on Ryan Merriam. Leader in at the GT3 AM class is Javi Sierra. He's got a 2.6-second lead on Cesar Colon Torres, but you see he's kind of in the middle of a nice little gaggle of cars. He's got Alex Zart in front of him. He's 5th place in the pro class. And then he's got a lane below, a rookie still right behind him. Jason Phillips and Cesar Colon Torres not too far behind.
Yeah, and obviously we talked to a few drivers here, and we've got actually quite a few. We've got a couple drivers that have increased 11 spots tonight, and that's the likes of Bryce Reiner, the likes of Alex Zart, and the likes of Javi Sierra, all up 11 spots. These couple drivers are having a really good run here and able to kind of fast forward now. You know, maybe, you know, Alex Zart and Javi can, you know, get one up here and be able to get into like up 12 spots or something like that. But Bryce Reiner will need to get around the likes of Craig Jancic, and if he wants to make sure that he's the top dog here tonight, especially if Alex Zart and Javi Sierra can kind of catch up and get around the likes of Nathan Nickerson. That is right in front of him, and you know, Nathan's having a good run here. He's up 5 spots and 21st overall, and 2nd for your rookies for the GT3s. But yeah, great run. I was kind of impressed. I've seen a lot of nice catches, especially by the LMP2s when we were watching through the field there earlier. But yeah, it's the pits have started for the GT3s. There's no Bourgeois, Ricky Renner, Kobler, and now Tanya all in, along with Merriam's in as well, and Nickerson.
Thank everyone out there for tuning in tonight. If you haven't done so already, hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. I want to thank our sponsors. As I just realized, I still have the dashboard up. We'll get the sponsors back up here. Again, the sponsors, Ace Motorsports, sponsoring the Pole Awards here. 40 Racewear, Digital Sim Sports, Martin PC, Chandelure Leather Company, and Sim Gaming Expo. As I believe the Charlotte Sim Gaming Expo is coming up this weekend. I think we had a couple drivers mention that they're going to be heading down to Charlotte for this one. But you see it right there. We do have some of the GT3 drivers. In fact, most of them coming in on this pit stop right here. As Bourgeois already down and out, and his lead now up to 7.5 seconds. Looks like Devin Young picked up maybe just a slowdown there as he had a yellow, but the entire field now pretty spread out. There's not a battle to be had. At least the closest battle that I'm seeing is probably right here. Avery Pedley and Richie Hearn, only one that's within a second and a half of each other. Looks like another one possibly developing here. Trent Blaylock and Jim Dutton up here in 8th and 9th as well, as GT3s in the middle of their pit stops. Jason Phillips out, only about a second behind a lane below. Cesar Clone Torres, another one that is was able to jump ahead. Javi Sierra, 31 seconds in pit lane. Cesar Clone Torres only 19, so I'm not sure what Javi Sierra did there, if he elected to take tires that it took that long or took way too much fuel. I'm not really sure what took twice as long the most. But Cesar Clone Torres now is your leader in the GT3 Pro class by actually in the M class, sorry, by almost 10 seconds.
Yeah, doing over at Javi Sierra, and you know, it's obviously we were talking about Javi as he was up so many spots. I mean, still up spots here tonight, up 4 spots in class and 6 spots overall. He's got a couple. How is that working here? I think it's 6 spots. So it's just you know, obviously just having good runs here. Everybody's been pretty decent. I like to see when the numbers are pretty consistent throughout, you know, whether a little bit green or a little bit orange for losses. You know, big obviously a driver trying to make their way probably to the least in front of all the GT3 cars is the like of Dace Keeling. So down 20 spots, unfortunate you know, unfortunate events happened with the 6 and putting him in a spot that wasn't able to catch and ended up taking that whole front nose off. You can see him trying to notify the GT3s who wants to like to get around, and they oblige and allow the LMP2 to keep on going. So see where Dace Keeling can finish here tonight, but this is a long track, and we still got a little bit of time, but only 15 more minutes, Carl. So we're only looking at, you know, 2 more laps. Yeah, maybe 3, depending on when they cross.
We talked about you know, we talked about the pit stops there and wondered why Javi Sierra took 31 seconds. Well, how about Dace Keeling's pit stop? 10 minutes and 28 seconds. Actually, technically 10 minutes 28.95 seconds. So almost 10.5 minutes, and that's because of the tow. Just got a little bit too aggressive early on. Tried to make the pass there on Craig Jancic around the outside heading into the Nordschleife, and the car just did not stick. Not sure if it was cold tires or just trying to brake a little bit too late. Got out in the kitty litter, shot him straight into the barrier. Heavy damage to the 6. Was able to get excuse me. Was able to get that thing fast repaired, but you know, it took a tow, and a tow back to pit lane. And tows here are massive. They are a long time, and you see, I mean, almost about a lap and a quarter of towing for the number 6. But he's back out there. He's in 20th overall, just trying to maybe do a little damage control, maybe just going out there to have a little bit of fun, because he is your points leader. Trying to get the points up right now so I can let you know what it's looking like coming into tonight. It is Dace Keeling by about 170 points over Craig Jancic, Bryce Reiner, Devin Young, Trent Blaylock for the top 5 in the LMP2 Pro. In the AM class, it is dead locked. Brandon Potts and Paul Smith, both with 1,762.5 points. And how about this, Jimmy? 1.5 points behind them, running dilemma. So 3 cars with this race and only a couple more left, separated by 1.5 points. That's pretty tight for the AM class and the LMP2s. In the GT3 class, it is Chris Hamilton, who's not exactly having a great night tonight, up by 67 over Tyler Torville, Kyle Kobler, Ricky Renner, Michael Antania for your top 5. In the AM class, it is Christian Ortiz-Torres up by 276 points over Cesar Colon-Torres, Cameron Burke, Ian Southern, and Logan Branson. But with the fact that there's only a couple races left, I would assume, I'm not sure if Dace Keeling had a bad race earlier on in the season. I think early on in the season, he had a couple missteps, but I know he kind of recovered from quite a bit of them. But here, this could be the worst race of the season for him. Could be his drop race. Maybe won't hurt him too much in the points, but still got a nice cushion with only a couple races to go. As after tonight, the field is going to head, I believe, back to the streets as we go to Detroit. Yeah, Detroit.
Cool.
Exactly. Detroit at Belle Isle is going to be the penultimate round of the season. And then the 2-hour finale at Road America comes up on June 3rd. So be a pretty good one there, and definitely a good one to finish on for the last 2-hour race of the season. Did mention early on in the week, for everyone that is a fan of Sierra Nation, we don't have a doubleheader tonight, so I want to apologize to everyone looking forward to Pit Road Speed Limit Racing Series coming up right after this one. Not going to happen, because I forgot last week was their little tune-up, their little fun, and then they're going to get to the actual points racing action next week for the season opener at Daytona. So week off this week, so enjoy this one while it lasts. I know you only get 6 laps worth of racing on CRN here tonight, but I promise you there was quite a bit of action here, and these drivers will be wringing the sweat out of their visors after this one.
Yeah, and looking at the interval between the drivers, not really many are super close. Battling on the track at the moment. Here's one, got a couple drivers with Jason Phillips back in P number 25, and the likes of Alex Zart. So it's or Elaine Blow, excuse me. It's these 2 drivers here are in a pretty good battle, and the closest battle on the track. The other one's back with, I believe, Tyler Torville and Ian Southern. So
Cesar Colon-Torres.
Excuse me,
Yep.
correction, Cesar Colon-Torres. So yeah, 2 real close battles on the track, but right now definitely Elaine Blow and a gang are trying to get that battle here to maybe try to get themselves around. But Alex Zart still up 10 spots. Bryce Reiner up 11 spots now, and that's the battle for the most positions gained. But yeah, this thing's coming down to the end, Carl. Only got about less than 10 minutes.
I mean, can we give the hard charger to to Dace Keeling, considering he sandbagged his way? He went through the sand and bagged that car on lap number 1 and went all the way to the back of the field. He's worked his way up to 20th, so technically Dace Keeling is up 17 spots, but that's beside the point. As you see the battle now side by side between Below and Phillips, as Phillips is going to get the edge. He is the white Mustang on the right-hand side of your screen. The black Mustang is Below, and Phillips is going to make that pass for the time being. Sends it down through the S's. You can still be flat out until right about here. You start getting on the brakes, start working it down the gears, blow it up a little bit, and then hard on the throttle coming out down onto the front stretch.
Yeah, depending on when they cross, Carl, I think they're gonna. Obviously, we're at 36 minutes, so this obviously the time is gonna go well over 45 minutes. If you go back to Craig Jancic, you can see where he's at right now, and he's a little over halfway, I think, around the track.
Yeah.
So it has just a little bit more time to go. Yeah, he should get the white flag, not being that he's within that time frame, but. It's still, by the time he gets there, it's probably close to like 40 minutes. So the race is going to go a little bit over, and if you Craig Jancik's on your tail, and you don't want to run another 8 minutes, let him go by during that white flag lap.
Well, I mean, this is only a 45-minute race here tonight, but you know, if it was a longer race, it's an idea that you're looking there. If you're a GT3 driver, maybe you decide to short fuel your car to try and get some track position. If you know that the leader is going to pass you, because that's one extra lap that you don't have to go, and a lap here is a heck of a long time, and it's a lot of fuel that it takes to get around here for one lap. So it's a strategy that could be played here. Now we got another battle again. Cesar Colon Torres and Todd Torville, as Torville is going to hang on to the spot, but hangs onto the curb a little bit too long. That allows Colon Torres to go on by. Not sure what happened to both of these, as Javi Sierra has really taken the lead back in a big way. 24-second lead now for Javi Sierra. Maybe he did take new tires, and maybe tires mean that much. I'm not really sure. We mentioned about Chris Hamilton not having a good night. We've seen what happened to him earlier on in the race. Well, this is another incident right here, going through the carousel, and man, that car just hops up and out of there. I'm not a big fan of the carousel here. I suck more than I do good at the carousel. And you've seen, I mean, we'll take a look at that one more time, because that was a pretty good look. We'll slow it down here. And I don't know if I ever seen a GT3 car bicycle it out of the carousel, but look at right there, up on two wheels. It's kind of hard to get the grip down, hard to get the power down if you only got essentially a quarter of a tire down, not just 4 tires, but the total of about a quarter of a tire on the pavement, and ends up towing it back to pit lane for that one.
Yeah, I think Chris is 24-hour Nurburgring has kind of continued to follow him here tonight or something. I know they didn't have a very great run with his team that he was running with, and you know, it's obviously they were in the Porsche Cup though, so a little bit different car. But the Cup car was very fast this year, almost very comparative to the GT3s. You know, minus the small differences, but. It did get around here a lot better and more of a challenge. I'm sure the drivers that had the opportunity to race with that class was not as popular as the GT3s. Even with the likes of like the TCR or stuff that was out there, a very slow car. You want to talk about a car that gets good gas mileage, Carl? You run the TCR around here. You think you can be out here for 45 minutes in a GT3? About almost, it's over an hour. It's like an hour and 20 minutes or something like that, or a tank of fuel in one of those things right here at the ring. So, and they're very edgy for a car that's a little bit slower. It's supposed to be more kind of beginner kind of based. It's I don't know. I just feel very uncomfortable with the way that car handles here.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I've had the chance to run the Porsche Cup. If I have, it's been quite a long time that I've been in the Porsche Cup, and I definitely don't think I've run it here at this track. But I've heard the same thing. I've heard that it is quite a popular car as well. That like when it comes to some of the bigger leagues, the ones that have the bigger iRacing drivers and things like that. It's a pretty big draw for some of the high iRacing drivers. But white flag is in the air. This is the final lap here for Craig Jancik, as he's got a 19.6 second lead over Bryce Reiner, Siviani Madrigal for your top 3 in the LMP2 Pro class. Paul Smith has kept it just outside the top 5 pretty much the whole race here. He's in 6th place. But more importantly, he's 28.5 seconds ahead of Avery Pedley and Renan Dilemma. That is your top 3 for the LMP2 AM class. In the Pro GT3s, Noah Bourgeois leads by 7.4 over Ryan Merriam, who's a rookie. So it's a 23.8 second lead over Kyle Kobler. And then Ricky Renner, which is your top 3 for the GT3 Pros. In the AM class, 28.5 second lead for Javi Sierra over Cesar Colon Torres and Todd Torville.
Yeah, I'll kind of spread out after that pit stop. The battles kind of went away, and again, another night where we've kind of seen a kind of a trend here in SCRN with the pit stops, and some drivers are able to nail those pit stops, and some are not. And you can, it's very unique, kind of coming into some of these pit stalls, or actually into pit lane. This one here at the Nurburgring, not so bad, but on board with Days Keeling. I've got a little taste, another scare there right here at the end.
Well, I think he followed Borlaski there as Borlaski kind of missed that corner a little bit and grabbed the curb. And both of these cars experienced a tow earlier tonight because Borlaski had a tow earlier on in the race as well. His was only 7 minutes long, but not exactly a trend you want to follow. Borlaski goes a little bit wide there, and Keeling able to make the pass there. Now Borlaski's going to try and tuck in and at least get a tow down the backstretch, but definitely a rough little sector there to watch on board with Keeling, as Craig Jancic is on his last lap. Got a little bit of traffic coming up here with some LMP2s, but we'll keep an eye right here, as well as Javi Sierra is still right there with a lane below. This is the battle for 24th and 25th overall, but Javi Sierra's got a stranglehold on the GT3 Pro Class win here tonight, barring any kind of mistakes. And you never know when a mistake can pop up. I mean, this is a long track. One mistake anywhere on this 16-mile track, and it's lights out. Whatever lead that you had is gone because you're towing back to pit lane.
Yeah, it's not the most friendliest pit or tow in the world, that's for sure. The longest one on iRacing. That's probably why meatballs, when you get them here in your tow, you have to wait the 10-15 minutes for the tow, and then you turn around and only have maybe like a 10-minute repair, or obviously if you don't have that fast repair, and then you're kind of back out there within like 30 minutes. But 30 minutes, that's 3 laps that you've gone down. That almost, it seems like forever here, especially at how long you can see that it takes to get around each and every lap. But yeah, coming down the backstretch here with Javi Sierra, now you got that draft there of a lane below and that Mustang. See if he can get that Mercedes up in underneath that toe there, and he does, and he'll probably shoot out and obviously looking maybe even push him. Maybe wait until a little bit later to try to make a move here. Maybe they're not on the white flag lap.
A little fuel saving here. That's all they're doing. I mean, like I said, Javi Sierra is battling the 509 here, technically for overall position, but not for a position in the GT3 AM class. And maybe that's why he's sticking behind him. Maybe he's trying to do a little fuel saving here. As we'll hop back on board with Javi Sierra and just double check. We'll keep an eye out for Barney here. There we go. Maybe that's why his lane below now has to duck into pit lane. Javi Sierra goes on by, and
where's Jancic?
Yeah, I'm not seeing the white flag out there just yet. So maybe we made the mistake, but they're over 45 minutes, so it's got to be the white flag, because Jancic right now is in the back half of the track, going through. You see on the top right-hand corner of the track map. So he's about halfway through the lap right now, and it's past 45 minutes. So this has got to be the white flag lap. We'll see certainly when he gets done here. But a dominated performance here. Certainly made a lot easier by Keeling's mistake on lap number 1, but he hasn't exactly lifted off the throttle. And Jimmy, you want to talk about consistency? How about Jancic's best lap? 7:54.35. So almost an 8-minute lap. His last lap, 7:54.36. So over almost 8 minutes of a lap, 100th of a second difference. So, I mean, you can't really get much more consistent than that. I mean, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, kind of nail a lap, because there's so many, like we were talking about, all the variables, all the different corners and everything that they can do here. Yeah, that's a very consistent, just like the fans out there being consistent, coming out each and every week. Just a huge shout out there to Barry that I see chatting there. If your favorite driver's out there and you haven't seen him in a while and you want to know where he's at, give us a shout out there in the chat. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe, and obviously the bell for notifications if you want to know when we go live. Plenty of racing here at CRN. not only here with CSRL, but the other leagues that we cover. It's been an interesting one here for sure. As the drivers get out there, but it's just huge shout out and thanks for everybody stopping by, or listening if you're in the car at the moment, because I know a lot of drivers will put the CRN in the background to kind of get an idea what's going on. And I'm sure plenty of time to listen to maybe where their competitor is with a slight delay. Obviously, it's about 30 seconds or so of delay time from what we're talking about to what's happening on the track. We try to limit that time, but nobody in a battle here at the end at the moment, and it's probably the first time this season we haven't had anybody coming down. But Craig Jansen coming through the final turns. Well, as we think that he's on the white flag finish, we'll see if he gets that checkered flag, and he does. So anybody coming in here, everybody will start popping in with him checkered flag. So congratulations to Craig Jansen getting that win, getting on the podium here tonight at the Nurburgring. It does look like his teammate Bryce Reiner is going to follow, and then Savani Magical will be your top three for your LMP3 pros. Right at the moment, you have Smith, Pedley, Burrell for your LMP2 AM. GT3 Pro, it's Bourgeois, Kobler, and Renner. And Renner is not too far behind Kobler, or no, Phillips isn't too far behind Renner, so that position here could be up for grabs for the GT3 Pros. GT3 Rookies, Miriam, Nickerson, Bailu, and then for the G3 AMC are Cologne and Southern. That's what it's looking right now. But the top three for your LMP2 Pros are in here tonight. So congratulations to those drivers as the rest finish up. And got plenty of time to kind of walk this one out, Carl. It's, obviously I see some drivers that have, got around the finish line before Craig got up to him. So about maybe another 8 minute here for the drivers to kind of finish up, and maybe they wish, maybe the last driver wished he would have just waited just a little bit or been a little bit slower so he'd have to do the extra lap. But good racing here by everybody as we're winding down.
Just watching some of the LMP2 M's cross the line as Paul Smith will get the win in the LMP2 M class. Avery Pedley now coming across. He's going to come home in a second and a top 10 overall as well. Wayne Burrell still going through the mini carousel right now, up and out there, as he is in position to get it home in the top spots, or the third spot here for the LMP2 M class. Trying to look at where the rest of the field is, and they still got quite a ways to go here. So we'll keep an eye on William Burrell, as he'll be the next one to come across as he's coming down the backstretch, and a little bumpy down the backstretch. I don't remember being that bumpy as the back end kind of popping up and down there on the 21. Maybe he ran over a squirrel or something on the backstretch. But he is looking to get himself a podium here tonight, and
flashing those lights, he knows what we're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is all things considered, I think we had probably a good 30 cars still finish this race, and out of 37, about 3/4 of the field still finishing this race is I think a pretty dang good good amount of cars finishing this thing out. As you see, Burrell just coming home outside the top 10, finishing 11th, but third place in the AM class. Switching over now to Nurburgring as he's going to come down to.
He's in the final list, is there? Or no, he's not. He's got a little ways to go yet. Yes, the fast portion here, like the squirrel. I forget what they call them, but this is where I lost it in the race. Did I lose? No.
Yeah, coming up on the mini carousel here.
Yep.
And good to have Bourgeois back out here. I'm sure some of the other GT3 drivers may not think the same, but he is back out here and back out in dominating fashion, as he's got a 6-second lead over Ryan Merriam. I mean, all things considered, it's not a bad drive here for Merriam either, as he's going to finish, if it stands right now, as the top rookie, and he's within sight of the overall win for the GT3 class, but just not enough to take down Nurburgring here tonight, as Bourgeois coming down the backstretch. And I'm about to send it into the final S's here in just a moment. And looking for the overall GT3 win, another GT3 Pro class win as well. And you look back here through the S's. That is Bourgeois, and then Merriam there in the background. But out of the final corner, no Bourgeois in the 24, back to victory lane as he's going to get it done here tonight at the Nurburgring Combined. Ricky Renner, meanwhile, is 27.8 seconds behind. He is your second place driver as going around a lap car teammate there of his. I'm not sure which one that was. Was it Nathan? No, Nathan's still coming down the backstretch.
Yep.
But either way, Ricky Renner is going to come home second place in the number 53 for the GT3 Pro class. And then looks like still coming through the final sector and going slowly. Not sure if he's running out of fuel or not. But
they had to stretch it that last little bit there, Carl. Like I said, it was really kind of stay in. Yeah, he's out of fuel.
Yeah, the 19 creeping, and here comes Jason Phillips. Can he get him by the line for third place here?
I think he.
And he is, I believe, going to.
Wow.
No, Kyle Kobler did get it. It was the line before that. I thought it was the second line, but Phillips only finishes 4.8 seconds back. And so Kobler is going to get third. Javi Sierra now comes across the line as he's going to be your winner in the GT3 AM class. Down the backstretch right now is Cesar Colon Torres looking to get home in second place here tonight. As I got a little close. A little fuel strategy here at the end. Almost didn't exactly pay off here. But we're watching Cesar Colon Torres finish up here to come home in second in the AM class.
And we have a tie for biggest mover of the race, though. 12 spots up. Alex Art and Javi Sierra. It's rare. Just a few more cars. The last car is going to be the number 11 of Christian Ortiz Torres that needs to cross the line. As making their way, these final drivers are making their way here. The 444 Ian Southern back here in 25th over. Oh, it looks like he's done.
Yep, he's going to get third place in the LM or the GT3 AM class. As looks like just one or two drivers yet to finish up here.
Oh no.
And it looks like Alain Below is not going to finish up as he's going to run out of fuel. And Christian Ortiz Torres is going to pick up a free spot.
Take that.
Yeah,
thank you.
that will maybe help him out a little bit points-wise, but he's going to come out of the final corners. And how close Alain Below was coming into the final S's. Well, looking back here, there's Alain Below. It's not exactly how you want to end your night, but that's it right there. That's as far as he can make it. He can make it 6 9/10 of a lap is all he can do here tonight. But we'll take a look at our final results here for the night. And Craig Jansen again taking home the top spot as we'll get these drivers in for their interviews. Once again, I want to thank our sponsors for the series, Ace Motorsports, 40 Racewear. This race brought to you by Chandelure Leather Company, as cannot find the read for some reason. So I have to scroll back and get it the original way. I don't know how it got deleted, but either way, today's race coverage is brought to you by the Chandelure Leather Heritage Quality Goods, handcrafted on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Every wallet, clutch, and custom piece is built with purpose, made to wear in, not out, and crafted to carry your story for years to come. From everyday essentials to small batch, limited run builds, Chandelure Leather delivers timeless craftsmanship you can feel. Find your next lifelong companion at chandelureleather.com. We'll also thank Martin PC and Digital Sim Sports, as well as the Sim Gaming Expo. as we'll get you through the rest of the results, and you can see where your favorite driver finished overall. But we're gonna get the top drivers in here as Jancic takes home the LMP2 Pro. LMP2 AM goes to Paul Smith. GT3 Pro to Noah Bourgeois. GT3 AM to Javi Sierra. And as Jimmy mentioned, a tie for the Chris Burrell Hard Charger Sandbagger Award winner. It's going to go to Alex Zart since he finished up higher on the boards, as both him and Javi Sierra finished up 12 spots. Zart starting back there in 33rd position. So just waiting for some of them to queue up here, and then we'll get the interviews here going. But Jimmy, all things considered, I think the drivers did pretty well here at a very tricky Nurburgring, especially with us. I'm sure this might have been some of the first times for these LMP2 drivers out there, maybe their first laps here at the Nurburgring in this car.
Yeah, like we talked about during the race, obviously tricky track, and to finish tonight is a win for everybody, and it is very tricky. And if you have limited time here to just be able to complete the track and not lose it, getting into the wall or be destroyed and have your race ruined, it's a win. So the lower amount of incidents, that's just the starting point, and it's like, where can you now start pushing that car, to better your times and be quicker here, or maybe more competitive, more than you want to be. So, but finishing here tonight's a big achievement for all the drivers, and I want to say congratulations to everybody, no matter where you finished, and look forward to talking to the drivers that finished in the podium.
We'll go ahead and start bringing in our winners here tonight, and let's rewind it back here a smidge, if it will let me. There we go. And first driver we'll bring in, there we go, as it didn't want to go on the right driver there for a second, but first driver we'll bring in is your overall winner here tonight, and that's going to be the 97 of Craig Jancic. Craig, you waited until the absolute last minute to get that qualifying lap in. It bingoed it to the top of the boards, but how stressful was that? I guess that's kind of the first question, because clearly that was the key to your success here tonight, getting on the pole. But how stressful were you in qualifying?
I mean, it was an hour and 15 minutes of pure torture. And then the clock reset and added another 10 minutes. And then it was an hour and 23 minutes of pure torture in total. But, I knew that if I could put it all together, I knew that it would probably be full. And by the time that I realized there at the end that there was the normal overlap at the end of the session, I was able to kind of just watch the relative and be like, all right, I can give back a little bit of time here. I can give back a little bit of time here, make sure that we have enough to get pole, and also not completely bin it like I just spent the last hour and 10 minutes doing consecutively. So yeah, I mean, all in all, it was extremely stressful, but I knew it was going to be the difference in the night too.
Well, clearly, Dace was putting the pressure on that opening lap, and really trying to get to you, and had a look heading into the Nordschleife for the first lap there, but just kind of overshot that corner. How much were you kind of keeping an eye on that heading in?
Yeah, honestly, I meant to go back and watch that, but I haven't done that yet. So I'm kind of doing it here in live time, and yeah, he hit a absolutely perfect chicane. So I just did some defense there, and he just missed the breaking point by I don't know, a handful of weeks. But he was pretty upset that there was that over drop period at the end of qualifying. But if he knew that's how open qualifying worked, I think he probably could have taken advantage of it too. And maybe he was a little steamed about that, and really tried to send it in there deep. But the whole GP circuit on this outlap was a sheet of ice, and I was making sure that I took it cautious just to get to the Nordschleife for the first revolution here. And then it was pretty much okay, pretty much status quo. But yeah, he made one little tiny mistake there, and it cost him his night. So he did steal the purple lap from me by a whole 5/100ths of a second over 7 minutes and 53 seconds. But we won't leave here with match points, but we'll put a dent in it. And as long as we go into Road America with a chance, I mean, that's all we can ask for.
Well, yeah, we were mentioning during the race how ridiculously consistent you were when it comes to lap times. It's crazy when the lap time is almost 8 minutes long. Your best lap was a 7:54.35. Another lap that you had out there, which there was only 6 of them. Another lap you had a 7:54.36, literally a hundredth difference, which is pretty insane to say when it comes to consistency. But that's kind of what you need out here at the Nurburgring. Last question before we let you get out of here. How much time did you have in the LMP2 here at the Nurburgring? Because I know me and Jimmy, we've been here a ton of times in the GT3s and maybe one or two other kinds of vehicles, but never in the LMP2s.
Yeah, I never before Monday night here for me either. I will say I have known the Nordschleife since I was in second grade, and I turned 30 about a month ago. So I think that's probably the factor in what really separates being able to be successful here and not is just simply knowing the track, knowing what curve you're looking for. And the braking zones are generally the same between GT3 and LMP2, which are the only two cars I've ever put on here on iRacing. So it's a lot of it just comes down to that track knowledge, and then being able to, you hit the curbs wrong a couple of times. You're like, all right, don't touch that one anymore. There's a lot of these curbs that we were just doing board slides on in the prototype, myself included a couple times in the race. I don't know, right after the first carousel, there's a curb that you could just do the gnarliest grind on, and I made sure that I did it in the race just to scare myself the right amount. Stuff like that is what really makes a difference here, specifically, at least in my findings with the prototype.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, we did see your previous competitor, Chris Hamilton, in the GT3s, actually bicycle his Mustang coming out of the carousel. So we'll let you watch that back on the broadcast here and see exactly what it is. We slowed it down for everyone out there, but it was probably not a fun ride for Hamilton. But either way, congrats to you on finally breaking through and getting a win. It feels like it's been a bit of a rough season trying to deal with Ace, but you get the top spot here tonight, get the win. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, thanks you guys, Core Racing Network. I'm really thrilled to continue to represent an awesome league here in CSRL. I mean, who the heck is popping out? What did we drive? 37 cars here tonight that actually signed up. I don't know how many gridded, but I mean, I don't know of any leagues that are dropping 37 unless it's DTM. So that makes me feel really good. It's an honor to be a part of CSRL, regardless. But to pull the numbers like we have been, it's been awesome this season. It means the world for you guys to show us off here. So thank you so much, Carl, Jimmy, everybody in the background there, and Sharon. My support system in my life: mom, dad, Aunt Sandy, my girlfriend Anna, Chris, Uncle Lee. My posse that watches every week. Thanks so much. Extra special shout out to Dad for this one. Him and I have been racing together, and we started out on Forza Motorsport 2, and I think they went up to 7 or 8 by now, and Forza Horizon 6 is coming out or just came out, and a lot of learning the Nordschleife goes back to racing games with him when I was just a wee little lad. So extra special to bring home a dominating win here at a track that we have affectionately ran and competed against each other with for a very long time. It means a lot to me to win here in this fashion. So we'll go on. We're going to Belle Isle, aren't we, man?
Yep. Street racing next week.
Does that make you sick? Tell me. Be honest.
No, I'm in the booth, so you guys have fun. I feel nothing. Yeah.
He's got the bag to the right.
I'm like, my wheel is on right now. I may just take it off just to make sure that I don't have any inklings of wanting to get out there and run a practice lap for next week.
I thought you might say that. No, hey, I mean, from the league administrative perspective, I think it's really cool that we're getting close to having every track that could put GTs and prototypes on it on our schedule over the course of the last 10 seasons. That warms my heart to that degree, but I know that street racing in for everybody. I think Detroit's going to be a blast, finding the limit. I think people are going to eat it a lot more than they thought they would. So it should be a really thrilling race, multi-class, and we'll just see how the cookie crumbles.
All right, buddy. Well, that is the penultimate round coming up next week, so keep the hammer down. See if you can run down Dace Keeling for this championship. But either way, take some time to celebrate the win here at the Nurburgring.
Yes, sir. Let's see how it cooks. Cheers.
That is your winner overall in the LMP2 Pro class, the 97 of Craig Jancic. Top spot in the AM class for the LMP2s is going to be the 8 of Paul Smith.
Hey, Paul, Jimmy Carl in the booth. You copy?
Yes, sir. How you guys doing?
Well, not too bad. Welcome to the booth here as the number 8. You are the top finisher for the AM class. So getting that out there, not doing not doing a bad job out there at all. Obviously, a tough track here tonight. Me and Carl talked about it a little bit, how difficult it is to kind of get around here on the GT3s, but that we never ran the LMP2 here before, as we do have multiple races in it. But how was it out there, and what led to your success here tonight?
Well, I was talking to Craig earlier, and it was like, this is the most fun I've ever had driving the LMP2, and it is fun until you hit a curb, and then it's not fun anymore, and your race is over. But I think what led to my success, obviously, I did the 24-hour. Obviously, that was in a GT3, but I think that really helped me, prepare on like when to get on gas, all of that. But I also practiced pretty hard for this one just because of the point standings for the AMs. So I put a little more practice in this week.
A little bit of practice seemed to go a long way here tonight, netting you a 6th overall and top of the AM, and your nearest competitor was 4 spots back over there, Avery Pedley. So you definitely got yourself a decent points night here. Great finish at a very unique and technical track. So obviously, want to say congratulations, recognize your finish, and give you some time for any shouts you might have, and then that number 8.
No, that's awesome. I love what you guys do with broadcast. Thank you guys for doing this every week, and it's really fun. It's weird being in here now because I've never been in the interview booth, even though I've been leading the last few weeks. It's really just, I guess I've been more consistent. But other than that, go Avs, and we'll see you all next week.
Definitely looking forward to seeing how y'all perform at a street course. No more trees. It'll be street signs and buildings. So good luck next week. Thanks for the shout outs. We'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family. Yes, sir.
That is your AM class winner here in the LMP2s, Paul Smith, and the number 8. Switching over to the GT3s, the 24 of Nurburgring gets it done here tonight, finishing 16th overall. Noah, welcome back, and welcome back to the top spot here. We get you back here in the booth with another GT3 Pro win. Good to be back out there on track, and it looked like you had Nurburgring kind of dialed in here tonight.
Yeah, first off, it feels really good to be back. It feels like it's been forever since I've talked to you guys, so I really wanted to dial it in for tonight. I feel like I had an advantage coming in here because we ran the Mustang for the Nordschleife 24-hour a couple weeks ago, and it seemed like the Ford was kind of meta based on the official races, so it's basically just hop in, get right back to what I was doing previously, and in an unbopped Mustang, so it's actually really fast. Yeah, it's kind of just a matter of hit my own marks. Fuel strategy played out a little wonky, so that kind of gave us a scare towards the end. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward drive. There's not much wheel-to-wheel actions. Kind of just don't screw yourself up more than anything.
It's pretty funny looking at the times set here. I was trying to look and see who had the fastest GT3 time, which no surprise it was you with an 8:16, but. I mean, I know you guys were only out there for, I think, 6 or 7 laps here tonight, but not even half the field in the GT3s have a registered time. So, it's not just about being fast. You got to keep the thing on track. And we did see some drivers take to some of the grass. We've seen some drivers have some major incidents that we mentioned to Jancic that he needs to go back and look at the broadcast because Chris Hamilton didn't exactly leave the carousel the correct way and end up bicycling his Mustang coming out of there. So, what is it about, the preparations for the Nurburgring, because it is not a track like any other. There's tons and tons of corners here. I mentioned to Jimmy, once you kind of know the layout, even though it's huge, even though it's 16 plus miles, you kind of get some muscle memory, but there's muscle memory and then there's putting it on the edge and trying to find every last second. So what do you do to try and, get that little extra bump compared to everybody else?
Well, I'm fortunate. Like, this is one of the tracks where I can guarantee that I have more time invested than probably a majority of the field, which is not something that I can say at just about any other track. I love this place. I've invested so much time here from starting Gran Turismo when I was a kid. So like I've had an infatuation with this track the whole time. For me personally, trying to dial it in, it's kind of just focusing on one section at a time. If you look at the whole thing, it's going to be so overwhelming. I was talking to a few guys this week, like trying to learn this track, and they were talking about how overwhelming it is and just how crazy it is. But you got to just take it little by little. I know a lot of guys get some experience with the first half of the track, and then they make a mistake and have to reset and just repeat the vicious cycle. But just lots of time, lots of repetition, and I'm fortunate enough that I've had so much time here that the base layout itself isn't the challenge. It's just to dial in select corners here and there depending on what kind of car you're in. So yeah, it's kind of a boring answer, but really just super time investment more than anything.
Well, it worked out certainly good for you here tonight. So congrats on the win here tonight in the GT3 Pro class. Before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Appreciate it. Shout out to you guys in the booth. You guys put on awesome broadcasts each and every week. I love watching them even when I'm not part of the race. It's always good entertainment. Shout out to CSRL, Jim, all the admins. They do an amazing job each and every week trying to keep this as fun and competitive as possible. Shout out to FMR Motorsports, my boys Kyle and Al. All three of us had the big fuel saving scare this race. It was pretty entertaining trying to figure everything out the last couple of laps. Shout out as always, girlfriend, my dad, my brother. They're always supporting me each and every week. So shout out to them. And hopefully we can make these last couple races here in CSRL and pick up where we left off this week and give Ryan a challenge because I've heard that he's kind of been setting his own reputation around here lately, and I gotta try and defend the throne a little bit.
There you go. Well, looking forward to seeing if you get out there for Detroit or Road America for the end of the season. But either way, congrats on the win here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Jimmy, we're getting a little background from you over there. But yeah, that is the winner for the GT3 Pro class, No Bourgeois in the 24. Last but not least, because it looks like we're not going to get Alex Zart in here tonight. My mistake, and we got to correct it now. Javi Sierra is in the other Pro class now, so it's actually Cesar Colon Torres that is your winner here for the GT3 AM class in the 007.
Well, Caesar almost overlooked you, but obviously your position has not. So obviously a very tricky track out there, and it was an interesting one. Give us a little rundown of how your race was as you're kind of sitting about mid-pack there for the GT3s.
It was going pretty well for a solid 3 laps, and then came out of the pits, cold tires, and I don't know what I was thinking. I just sent it a little too hard. I guess I was on part of Full Send Nation night, sent it straight into the wrong barrier, and broke the front end. So I was working on some damage the whole time and just hoping that I wasn't getting passed by people, and slowly people were just crumbling around me too. So luckily, and very, very luckily, in the last lap, I saw Elaine pull into the pits, and I was literally thinking, should I just fix this damage or should I see? And then I saw the pit go, and I was like, no, I can make this work. And luckily, I got lucky. Like I said, I got very lucky there.
I've seen some cars coming. Well, one car in particular that ran out of gas coming down to the end. Were you guys cutting it close because like the time as the LMP2 cars were able to kind of put in and set that last lap for you all?
See, I was thinking that something happened when I came into the pits. I came out 3 seconds behind everyone that came in at the same time, and I was like, did I overfuel this thing? And I said, as I was going, I was like, well, I'd rather be overfueled here than underfueled. And then I saw everyone start pulling in pits, and I was like, oh, this is why we say these things.
It's a unique one here. It takes quite a bit of fuel here. I mean, we only did 7 laps here tonight, so it's a, you know, one of those tracks where you use so much fuel and you don't think about it. And, you know, if you did the 24-hour, you know, you were doing 7 laps before you came in, changing tires, maybe changing drivers, whatever it may have been. It was definitely a challenge here. And surviving was part of it. And, you know, you said yourself kind of sent it in there and lost it a little bit and try to manage it. I wasn't that lucky during the 24-hour event. I actually had to come in the pits and get the car repaired a few times, but you know, kept going out there and torturing ourselves for pretty much the rest of the evening. But you guys were able to get it done here in just 45 minutes, and even if you had troubles, you were still the #1 AM driver for the evening. So we want to say congratulations, man, for getting that done here at a very difficult track, and give you some time for any shots we might have in that 007.
I want to say shout out to the Black Saturn team, Stig, Brandon, everyone that wasn't here tonight, Logan, John, everyone else. Thank you all for being here. My girlfriend and you guys that run the show, and everyone at CSRL. You guys are freaking awesome. This is always a great racing, fun stuff.
We appreciate the shout outs again. Congratulations. We'll see you next week at with a little less trees and a little more street signs. And I wish you the best of luck, and we'll let you go celebrate with your friends and family.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
That is your GT3 AM class winner here tonight, the 007 of Cesar Colon Torres. That is going to do it for us here tonight. Just a quick little, you know, 6-lap shootout here for the drivers here at CSRL, but it took the typical 45+ minutes, as you see Cesar Colon Torres here on the last couple laps here. Definitely having some off tracks, but still was able to get it done either way. I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. Again, no doubleheader tonight, as Pit Road Speed Limit Racing will be kicking off their season next week, but we do have the doubleheader coming up tomorrow night. It'll be myself and Joe Sullivan in the booth for VVR, and then the typical John and Mike on the mics for GT, for Core tomorrow night. But that is going to do it for myself and Jimmy from the big old Nordschleife and the Nurburgring Combined. We'll see you at the track.
Peace.
the top.